Hi everybody, my name is Brett Gestrost and welcome to Faces of Compassion blog show. And before I introduce my guest, I just want to thank everybody for being on my show each week. You know, it's the visitors, the people that are watching the show that really makes the difference. And I really want to personally thank everybody that has commented, and I hear a lot of talk about this show and how it's just really impacting the community. And it's with my great pleasure I'd like to introduce James to the show. Hello. Everybody is never prepared when I shake their hand, but you know. So James, can you tell me a little bit about you and the viewers and what you do and possibly where you might work? Maybe some people don't know that.
Oh, yeah, well.
You never know.
I am actually a motivational trainer here in the Valley, and I do a lot of motivational presenting, seminars, type of workshops.
Okay.
I tell a lot of people I'm a big Tony Robbins, Oprah, Wayne Dyer junkie.
Okay.
So it's kind of a passion in my life to tap into that. And I do have my own practice here, but on top of all that, I am also a lead academic advisor at the Southwest Institute of Healing Arts, as well as an instructor for their main business course. So many different hats, many different roles that I play. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So what would you say that just sitting down and talking that's really something that people could really get? I know we kind of did a little bit of talk beforehand about the mask. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how you incorporate that in your business?
Part of my fascination is the many faces that we wear throughout our lives, different stages and just the different experiences that we go through, which create our story.
Right.
And a lot of times psychology will teach you that the masks are a defense mechanism.
I would agree.
Which makes sense to a certain degree. However, I do believe that there is a certain point that once we get ourselves out of our stories and we own our stories as a strength, those masks become tools. They become a benefit to ourselves to be able to show up, to be able to be vulnerable, to be able to show the pieces of ourselves that might have otherwise in the past be masked by our own fears of whether it's other people's thoughts, other people's feelings, other people's opinions, the things that we've gone through that maybe we've been ashamed to talk about, the decisions that we all make, which at the time, some good and some maybe not the brightest. However, even the worst decisions create the path that we're all on. So I encourage people to embrace those masks and to embrace those vulnerabilities, to be able to realize that while a lot of people may see it as a weakness, that it is actually the greatest strength we could possibly have as human beings.
Right. Can you maybe share with maybe your own personal experience? I might be putting you on the spot here.
A little bit.
Or someone,
okay.
or someone else, where you maybe had somewhere in your life, it may not have been here, it might have been before, where you were afraid for someone to see you with that mask. And what was that point in your life where you made that change and you had that aha moment and it just propelled your life forward?
Well, I'm going to share a little piece of my story, but
Sure.
I
think that's really important.
Yeah, you know, in being vulnerable, realizing that there was a large portion of my life where I wasn't 100% sure who I was or what it was that I was capable of doing, and a lot of what we like to say around here is that I played small quite a bit.
Oh, I can relate to that totally.
I did not speak my mind. I was very shy, very introvert, if you know, which if you know me today is very much not the case at all in any way, shape, or form. The funny part about all of this is that a few decisions that I made in my younger teenage years, probably not the brightest, but
understandable.
You know what? I decided that I wanted to venture out and try some new things, and my job of choice during the day was I wanted to wait tables because I'm very much a people person.
Sure.
And then by night, I actually delved into the world of male dancing, of all things.
Okay.
And at the time, believe it or not, I was in it for the thrill because I had it in my head that I was going to get to experience something that was a character, it was a part. I was expressing myself in a way that I was acting out a role. But what I came to realize was that everything I was doing was actually a part of who I really was on the inside. I just found a different way of being able to express it, which, you know, obviously that did not become a career. However, it did.
I totally get you.
Break me out of my shell and got me to connect with a piece of myself that I never knew existed. And, you know, has really, for all intents and purposes, made me a good part of who I am right now, with regards to my confidence level and how I show up for myself, because I find the things that I've done in my past and the people that I've met, albeit as colorful as some of them might be, are also the people that I now have as clients, the people that I have as friends, and the people that I'm able to relate to on multiple levels, because I have put on those masks at different points in my life. And we connect.
So in essence, what I think I hear you're telling me is that experience with maybe questioning things or where you're at, you had to have that experience to kind of push you over the edge to discover who you are.
Yeah, everyone does it in their own way. It's just I had a different approach at that point in time.
Because let's face it, I think at some point we all have those moments in time that we just want to tiptoe in doing things, but we really don't want people to see us, because if they see us and if we show the world who we are and we're not doing it the way we envision it to be, and perfection, I'm constantly working on that on a daily basis. Some of us have it more than others. It can really get in the way of really letting people in our life and letting people close to us. Would you say that would be true for you?
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is the fact that I have no regrets about anything that I've done. Is I have no shame, and I share these parts of my story all the time, only because it makes me a more credible individual as far as being trustworthy, as far as being a credible practitioner, as far as when people say what gives me the right to coach people or to have a business that I have, it's because I've been able to tap into so many different parts of my own life that my expectations of other people are equally met with the expectations that I have of myself and have had for quite some time. So James Patrick is a little bit of a hard ass, so to speak. Excuse my language, but
so tell us. We kind of went from one paradigm to another. So can you kind of step back for a moment and kind of explain? We were talking about a mask. Now we're kind of going in another area. So can you kind of give people a little bit more information? So if people are listening, it's like, well, you introduced yourself as James Silva. And now we're going into James Patrick, and we did talk about alter ego, so could you give the audience a little bit more information?
Well, my fascination with masks is basically when you meet somebody for the first time. It's basically the best foot forward. You're not actually meeting that individual. Because you're basically getting what they want you to see at that point in time. As you develop a relationship and as you develop a connection with these individuals, you start to realize their little quirks and their little intricacies as far as what other sides to their personalities they might have. And my fascination with these masks is to be able to tie into these individuals and pull out each and every single one of these personalities and get them to see that how you are with your family, how you are with your friends, how you are at work, how you interact with complete strangers that you may meet at any given point in time, that the same person still exists through all those different threads, where unfortunately we live in a society where I act and behave this way with my family, I act and behave this way with my friends, I act and behave this way at work. And a lot of people treat them as different personalities, and they act and behave in different ways when in all reality, there really shouldn't be a disconnect.
Here's an interesting thing. This conversation is happening for a reason. I feel like you're sharing wisdom, some things that I personally experience, that you are correct, and I agree with you when you say that we shouldn't have different personalities with different relationships. It really should come from a place of authenticity, that if you're really speaking your truth, there's no room to play a different role depending on who the person you're talking to or the group of people. I played that role to the T, and I felt so empty. I felt like a fake, you know, and I felt like people couldn't connect with me, so they really couldn't really trust me. So I know firsthand that if you just can't speak your truth and share it authentically and just be you, and it's taken me a long time to get there, that you're really considered a phony.
Yeah. No.
I mean, I'm going to call it for what it is. I mean, usually when I speak the truth, usually speak things, you usually kind of offend people sometimes because I say it just the way it is. I don't know if you can relate.
Oh, all the time. I believe in three things. It's abilities, voice, and choice. And if I break that down, every single person, what I mean by abilities, it's the shorter version of responsibilities, accountabilities, reliabilities, and vulnerabilities, along with voice, because everyone's got a voice, and we are encouraged to use it, our most authentic and genuine selves, and even if it means saying the things that people don't want to hear sometimes, it has to happen. And choice. One of the other greater powers that we have as individuals is the power of choice, and to be able to use that each and every single day and embrace that as a piece of ourselves and show up in any way, shape, or form that means you need to be for that particular point in time, but authentic, 100% genuine you.
And what, in your own personal experience, or people that you've coached or you've seen being an instructor here, what happens to those people that choose to go the other way? I think that, I don't know why, I'm just following what I'm supposed to ask you.
Become owned by fear. And fear takes on many different roles, but what it is, and we hear fear of success all the time. But this goes with people's personal and professional lives.
Sure.
Fear steps in, and it goes one of two ways. It is fear of the unknown. So I'm not going to even start, I'm not even going to try, I don't believe myself, I don't believe in myself, and I'm not even going to make the effort because why bother?
Sure.
Or fear of, what if I'm actually good at what I do, and the world sees me, and people start to notice who I am, and people start to want to know who I am, and it just keeps coming at me. What if I can't handle what comes at me because I am great at who I am good at what I do? And so, believe it or not, that fear stops individuals as well. So we constantly put ourselves into that box that we all talk about.
So can we take that a little bit further? Sure. And I can put myself out there and put myself on the spotlight. What about when you're actually out there doing my blog show, doing presentations and workshops, and you're afraid of success, and then it's happening, it's creeping and crawling in your life, and you don't realize it, maybe other people see it, is that you're afraid of a real simple thing, is that you have these little gremlins talking to you
all the time,
and you have these beliefs that they're just saturated there and waiting, and they're just growing roots, and then all of a sudden you have a smack of your face, and all of a sudden just all these things happen in your life, and it makes you realize that you couldn't see your greatness. Everybody else can see it. But when it comes time to having a client, or it comes time to doing something great, and you want to manifest it, there's like this wall. It just completely stops.
That is your challenge.
Does that kind of, have you run across that?
All the time.
Where people see their gift, but they're so afraid that they're just like, what do I do next? And they're frustrated, and then you just literally have things that happen, and then you walk through it. Literally walk through it, and then you are able to see past it, and then all of a sudden, that moment, all this inspiration, a book comes out of it, all these gifts come out, because now you're not looking at the mirror of fear, as opposed to you can begin to see your own brilliance. It's like you're holding yourself back. So you constantly are pulling yourself into the mud when you want it to shine. Does that kind of make sense?
There's a quote that's actually perfect for that, and I use it in a lot of my presentations and in a lot of my marketing. And what it says is that the greatest tragedy in life is not death, but what we let die inside us while we are living.
Yes.
So understanding that when those walls come up, it's a challenge for you to basically ask yourself and check in with yourself, how bad do you really want whatever this is? How important is this in your life? Why must this happen for you at this point in time? Why must this move you forward?
Right.
And if the reasons why are powerful enough, then that wall is really just a hologram. It's basically asking you, okay, we're at the breaking point,
Yeah.
and you can go this way or you can go this way. And you basically have, again, the power of choice to move forward, option A or option B, but that wall goes away if the reasons are powerful enough.
Well, my reason was powerful recently, and I made a decision that I wasn't going to look back, that I was going to put myself out there like nobody's tomorrow. And a book is coming out of Money and Energy. I'm going to be writing this book, and it was that I had to have that breaking point. Was I going to stay in the fear? Was I going to believe all the lies that we tell ourselves? Maybe it is true. Maybe that I can't manifest money. Maybe it's really true that I am back in this situation, that I really can't ask for what I need, that I may not be able to pay my rent. All these little things that were going on. And then I had smacks in front of my head with people came in my life just to kind of push me over the edge, to have me face it. And I just made a decision, you know what? Because of what I know and what I'm learning with some of the modalities, coaching, EFT, all these things, that I can't sit in my crap for very long, that I've experienced life and tools that when it came push to shove, and like you talked about accountability, it's like I was looking in the mirror, I was like, okay, I'm gonna jump off the cliff.
No,
I'm
perfect.
gonna be scared as hell, call it for what it is, and wonderful things are gonna come out of it.
That is what we call your crap or get off the pot moment. And you had it.
And I didn't, and I really did not have this plan. I had no idea what I was gonna say. In fact, whenever I do speak, I don't really have a topic.
That's the best way to do it.
It just flows. So if somebody, James Silver or James Patrick, depending on
both.
We can use them both. How could somebody actually meet with you on a one-on-one session to learn more about how to unleash that? Is the best word that I can describe, and I kind of just gave that limit that example. How could somebody reach you? Because you really do have a gift. Now that we got a chance to sit down and interview you, you have some phenomenal talent. So if you just want to let people know how they can get a hold of you.
So my company is Facades Wellness and Resources here in the Valley. And the best way to get a hold of me is actually my cell phone.
Okay.
So that is 845-499-8458. And if you want more information about workshops, seminars, and the specific services around the coaching that I do, then it's www.whatsyourfacade.com.
Wow. I love it.
Perfect.
Well, I want to definitely thank you for being here. You had such great examples and great information. And if you want to reach me, Brett Gestrost, you can reach me by phone at 602-888-3502. And if you'd like to email me, you can email me at facesofcompassion@cox.net. And again, I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you got something from this message. I know I certainly got something from it. And again, stop back again soon to see another Faces of Compassion blog show. Thanks for now. Have a great day.